Hi, um, welcome to the Earth Elemental Sign reading. If you are an Earth sign, that would be Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Or if you just have Earth energy, or you're just interested in what's going on with Earth energy, welcome. So what I thought I'd do tonight is pull from this planetary deck that I have, and it splits it up between houses, signs, and planets. If you don't know much about astrology, I'd say maybe look up your birth chart, your natal chart. You don't need the time of the exact time of birth. You can just put noon or midnight and get a rough, pretty good reading. And it's divided up by 12 houses, and that all relates to different areas of your life and different facets of your personality. And each one will be ruled by a sign, and there will be different planets in the different signs and the different houses. So you can see how this energy works with you and what's going on in your life, what's going on with you. Or you can think of it as a fortune. You can think of it as a science experiment and see if any of this energy actually is circulating. If any of the planets are in those constellations right now, or see if anything actually is aligning, or if it's more of a metaphor for you. Any signs, symbols that might resonate, pay attention to, and yeah, so I haven't looked at the cards yet, but I did pull them already because it would have taken a while to shuffle. So the planet that is important or significant to Earth signs is Venus. And Venus in the sign of Cancer. And in the house, the 9th house. So how these are divided up, and I'll let you see them. So 9th will be backwards. And how they're divided up is between thinking, reflecting, spiritual advice, and taking action. And those are further divided up by spiritual, mental, and physical. So they're kind of like oracle cards, and it just talks about how different energies mix and merge and different ways that might affect you or different things going on with you. So I'll leave them for the end as a summation and just pull one card from this deck, which is the Thoth deck. I really like the Art Deco imagery of this deck, the colors, and there's a lot of symbolism. And so, anyways, for Earth energy. It's the Knight of Cups. So this couple. On the bottom is Prudence. It's the 8 of Discs. So this is a people card. Knights and princes usually represent to me mutable energies. So for Earth signs, that would be Virgo, but it can just be, the energy that's coming through with the card, the symbolism in it, or it can be you, it can be someone you know, someone in your life, someone significant to you, or just, creative inspiration. But this is someone, I won't do ages. This is just, right here you can see the crab, and that's the sign of Cancer. So this is some sort of watery energy, watery emotions, feelings having to do with you or someone you know. and possibly a Cancer, since water represents the water signs, Cancer, Pisces, and Scorpio. But this could be any water sign, or just someone making a nice offer, a gesture, an invitation, perhaps. He's holding out a cup, so it could be invitation for a drink, or he's on his white horse, has wings, but it almost looks, the wings almost look like a staircase, winding staircase. Also a bit like stone, which makes me think of gargoyles and Gothic architecture. It's mid-flight, it's jumping over waves, reaching up to grab something. Maybe it's taking an opportunity too, something that's being handed to you. Advice, it can be love, it can be just a kind gesture, a nice word, which I think is always something nice to do throughout the day, is to kind of seek out people to just, give a compliment to, or something sincere, though, something that is beyond the, oh, you look nice today, or something like that, but just, try your best to connect with someone just by noticing them, I think, and taking the time to say something that might stick with them for a really long time. I was going to go into something else, but this is on the bottom. It's, paying attention to details sometimes. It's tree sprouting, growth, new growth. It's sometimes associated with the apprentice or someone learning their craft. Sometimes hammering out, which is why I think of details, hammering out details, but he's actually carving or, doing some sort of metal work with the different coins. So this just looks more like a harvest time, autumn time, and, like sunset kind of atmosphere. And berries, even though I know those are flowers, they have little wheels in there. It also represent, the right and left side of your brain, and getting the wheels turning, maybe through emotion, maybe through taking a step into something that's unknown, or accepting an offer, accepting, allowing good things to come to you, putting good things out there, having that even flow, that balance. Since 8 also is Scorpio is also the 8th sign in the zodiac, so it could have something to do with what's going on in your 8th house, which is sometimes having to do with, what's hidden, the unseen, death, taxes, regeneration, transformation, partnership. So yeah, maybe see how you can reach out to another person today and just help them have a better day, all around abundance, happiness. And I was also going to pull an I Ching card. I studied all of these different divinatory systems, try to grasp the structure and how things came together in that way. Might have been, it looks like a structure to me, so that might have been just reacting to pull one more. For earth signs, Taurus, Capricorn, Virgo, Empress, the highest and greatest good. And that is, it's a little dark in here, 43. On the bottom, 47. These definitions can sometimes be a little long, and I have to look them up. So if there's some time at the end, I'll do that, or I'll just put the descriptions below. And the card that popped out earlier is card 24, just FYI. That was the greatest card. Two cards. The cards that popped out are the Tower and the Empress. And on the bottom is the Seven of Swords. Oops. Titled Futility, but can mean different things. So we'll just start with these. So the Empress, or maybe we should go with the Tower first. Bad news first, or it's not necessarily bad news. I talked a little bit about this card in a reading a couple days ago. Tower is quick, sudden change, something coming in that either disrupts or just completely changes your world. It can be anything having to do with, on a mundane level, technological meltdown, computer frozen kind of glitches happening. It can mean crash. It's something having to do with a tower falling, and there's usually things falling out to people, usually. This card's really dramatic, but it can also just mean a clearing away of, what is no longer good or useful or beneficial to you, so that something new can come in, kind of out with the old and with the new. It can just be something completely unexpected. News coming in that kind of rocks your world, or just something new, different. It can also mean a flash of inspiration and something kind of just knocking you out of the ballpark, just sort of, it's just like destruction, but not necessarily bad destruction. It can just mean, letting the past go, letting things go, clearing the way for new things to come in, to make new memories, perhaps, to make, I don't know. Tower is card 16. That's a 7. I guess we'll just move on to the Empress, and this is actually a really beautiful card. Empress typically means Venus, so it also pulled Venus here. It's the motherly, nurturing type, which kind of speaks to Cancer as well, and it can mean pregnancy. It can mean creativity, just being pregnant with ideas, just, in that sort of creative flow. Beauty, arts, just a very beautiful study. Venus, so it rules Taurus, which is an earth sign, and also Libra. So it's all things having to do with beauty and your environment having to do with beauty. Maybe you're clearing away old furniture, old, belongings, maybe you're, tearing down your house or something like that to build something new or just make space so that you can redecorate. It can be something just like that. Cards are often very literal. So it's kind of about your discernment and, any of the base meanings of the cards correspond to anything going on in your life. So, it can just be a total breakthrough. Giving birth to something new, something creative, something beautiful. Kind of after the destruction, there can be something new built, something beautiful. It makes me think of that Five for Fighting song, which I hope people know. I mean, it's kind of it's a strange video, but I like the message in it, and it kind of speaks to that, what sort of world or, whatever it is that you are confronting or confronted with. In the Tower, how are you going to change it and make it beautiful and make it yours, your own? How are you going to decorate that new space? How are you going to decorate your life, your stories? How are you going to make something beautiful? How are you going to take what's around you and earth energies and things, physical reality? How can you look around you and use what you have and make it beautiful? Getting rid of what's not necessary, maybe just clearing space, getting rid of clutter, and so that the real beauty shines. There's a swan and a shield, and makes me think of the Leda playlist that I've been referencing. She's just Venus, sexy, beautiful, alluring, but also grounded. And, traditionally it's the person that everyone else comes to, all the kings and queens and the ducks come to for advice, for guidance, for love, like loving energy, loving advice, anything like that. And Seven of Swords can just mean seeing clearly. Maybe now you see something clearly, or maybe there's some regret. Maybe that's like with the Towers, letting go of that regret, letting yourself take time to heal or take time to be creative, follow your passions, your love of something. This can also mean finding something that you lost, reclaiming something, or having something taken from you. However that applies to you, maybe, you lost something and maybe you cleared away some furniture and you found it. It could be something like that. But overall, there's just that blue and that pink and all those like really soft, soft tones. Those blues and greens just make me think of water and being by the water and taking in the air and the atmosphere and, sitting in the grass maybe. Reminds me of grass. Just being outdoors, taking in nature, maybe taking some time for that, clearing away some time that's you could actually use to go out and enjoy nature or do your artwork or whatever it is that you've been wanting to find time to do. This could maybe mean finding time to do that by clearing away something that doesn't really, it's not really useful anymore, that kind of thing. And now I was going to do one I Ching card and below, quickly go through it. But for Earth energies, clarity on the Empress and the Tower. Some Vegas code. Earth energies. I'd say that came pretty fast. Sorry. 64 and 60 came out together. I'll close up really quick. Sorry, I'm having to scroll through my little app here. '60 is limits and connections. So making connections, maybe reaching out. Limits are necessary to channel purpose and lend direction to life. Constantly swimming in the sea of boundless opportunity would lead to exhaustion. Winging it alone, wild and free in the sky of boundless opportunity would lead to being lost. In human affairs, the making of choices and alliances implies limitations. For in choosing one path, another must be left behind. That's that tower. In order to achieve one thing, something else has to be left behind. Maybe not having your cake and eating it too, kind of thing. A key to successful life is to select your limits consciously and carefully, to be discriminating in the setting of personal boundaries, but also knowing when to fly in formation. Just as thrift often precedes prosperity, letting go of selfish interest leads to greater personal reward. Only by consciously accepting useful limits can your energy be channeled to good purpose and lead to a lasting accomplishment. Point yourself toward a middle way between discipline and freedom, spirit. Limits will come on their own accord, but to consciously select your own afflictions, now that's knowing how to fly. At the same time, to not go overboard on discipline. Even limitations must be limited, so that in the effort to bring order and direction into your life, you do not choke off vital sources of lively enthusiasm and spontaneity. This is quite long, so I'm going to move on to card 64, which is the last card in the I Ching. I initially started studying the different structures of divinatory systems to find, a way to balance different energies so that I could make this idea work, finding structure in different modes of thought. 64 is nearing completion. The situation is incomplete, but the chaos of the past is slowly giving way to order, and the goal is in sight. Nevertheless, you are still treading on thin ice. The way ahead is unobstructed. The goal is clear, but a cautious and careful attitude is still essential, lest you slip and fall. Nearing completion is the last hexagram in the I Ching. It suggests that the ever-spinning wheel of life never reaches the final conclusion, just as hidden sadness resides in the heart of true euphoria, just as the seeds of great achievement often sprout in a cauldron of adversity, so too no end is ever really complete without a new beginning stirring inside it. Though we divide life into categories in order to understand and manage it, experience itself is seamless. With this reading, the Tao's timeless 64-spoked wheel of change is ready to spin onward, ever evolving, ever staying the same. The situation represented by this reading can be compared to that of taking a lengthy trek over a high mountain. At some point before reaching the peak, you can see in detail exactly how much further you have to travel. You will have a good idea of what it will take to reach the top because of the climbing experience you've accumulated thus far. However, whenever you do reach the peak, which has been in sight for quite a long time, of sustained effort, you will have done only that. You will have reached the top, achieving your initial goal, but now you must still descend the other side. This last critical segment is what remains before completion. You may have little information and no experience of what it is like descending the other side of the mountain. While your attention has been focused on the path going up, the coming situation may seem very strange to you, unlike anything that you experienced before. The other side of the mountain is where all the true mysteries reside. Proceed carefully, cautiously, alertly, and you will reach your goal. So, It's 64 ends up being a 10, so it's a 1. Reduces down to 1 and 6, so that actually ends up being 16, the Tower, 2, or 7, which can just be spiritual connections coming through. So yeah, I know there's a lot more symbolism in this card. The 2 moons. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. I think it's a really pretty card. And I think so far it's just about, paying attention to details, being balanced, finding what does and doesn't work for you, and clearing away what's not necessary in your life, in your environment, in your routine, perhaps, and making room for new traditions, new routines, new environments, new people, new situations in your life, new furnishings, just interior decorating. Which I love interior. In another life, I think I would have been an interior decorator, because I've never been happier than when I got to just redo my entire apartment and decorate it however I liked. It was so fun. But yeah, I think it talks a lot about, it makes me think of Feng Shui and just, creating a comfortable environment for yourself, and where you feel truly, like where you can decompress, unwind, and just be surrounded by things that you enjoy and like and love, and your family, and just feeling safe, and getting rid of anything that doesn't, make you feel that way. Kind of just being conscious of your environment, conscious of how you feel when you see certain things, when you hear certain things. And I'm just going on a tangent with that one, but I guess I'll just read these really quickly. And they also are divided up between mental and physical and spiritual advice, and between that, more of a spiritual intuition, emotional, reflective advice, and more action doing type advice up here. So, and they all correspond. So let's do spiritual first. The attraction of intuition to protect spiritual values. Pleasure from attitudes about the past. Long-range thinking or travel. That's what you're perhaps thinking about, something that you've already cleared away. Now you're glad you can focus on taking a vacation. You can just sort of go forward with your plans, with what you want to do. And physically, good times resulting from the history of what is to be shared. Good times resulting from the history of what is to be shared. Take that as you will. Spiritual action doing advice is cherish your feelings as if they came from God. The mental advice is enjoy attitudes from the past about the philosophies and laws involved. Right. Enjoy attitudes from the past about the philosophies and laws involved. And I guess in whatever situation you're thinking about or finding yourself in. And the physical action, taking action and advice is charm, art, and beauty are the ways to use your intuition and do it in a big way. So maybe there's some sort of rendezvous, making time, taking time to meet up with, your sweetheart, or just family, or the things that you love, the things that you wish you had more time to spend on doing. As Venus can mean love, partnership, family, beauty, creation, just anything having to do with a sort of female creative energy. Very, anything having to do with beauty and your material surroundings and what it is that is perhaps in your environment that you can use to work with, and or what needs to be cleared away so that you can get to work. But it's just enjoying all those things that you have around you, all those people, all those experiences that you have around you, that you've had, that you're still going to have, that are just beautiful, that make life, make life valuable, make life beautiful and something to be cherished. And it's just music, it's art, it's creativity, it's nurturing energy, and it's very much this Empress. So it can also have to do with finances and more mundane things like that. But I think overall it's just about, or it can be someone in your life. These two cards together, someone in your life, or a way that you feel about someone in your life. Maybe a mother, nurturing type energy, because that's what Cancer is typically thought of to be very nurturing, concerned with the home, and which is the fourth house area of your life. Again, like your surroundings, your family, being a bit protective of that, but out of love and just it's very much like loving feelings, having loving feelings about perhaps things having to do with the ninth house, which is all like higher education, learning, spirituality, religion, just thinking bigger and bigger, and just sort of grasping onto knowledge. And so maybe your love, your creativity, all that is coming out in attending class, or doing something that you love, working on your craft, finding balance, making a happy home life, maybe just the people that are around you, and to if anything's taken away from that, if anything is not really adding value to your life, to strip that away and find what is really beautiful, even if it's just thoughts that are keeping you down, or memories, or something. Find a way to clear that away. Maybe meditation would work for you, or just getting out into nature and feeling connected to, or maybe going out with family, just maybe a sister, anyone with a sort of like nurturing, sort of loving, beautiful, feminine energy. The Empress, Venus, also rules Taurus, which is an earth sign, so for this earth energy reading, and also Libra. So it's really just anything having beauty, love, creation, finding the time to create, and however that creativity comes through, whether it's through learning or doing something, being around people, but finding out, I think, what is that for you, and finding out how you can expand on that, or maybe even expand and bring more love into your home life, more creativity, more art. Again, maybe you're redecorating, keep coming back to interior design. I don't know if I mentioned this is general reading, and it's for the next couple weeks, maybe a month. We'll see how it goes, but I hope it was helpful, and really, whenever you come across this reading, it may have messages, signs, symbols for you, and apply to something going on in your life at that point. Since we're not all on the same, we're not all going through the same thing, so different things will apply at different times, and sometimes more so later on. But in any case, try to keep a broad, open mind, and maybe just see the beauty in your day tomorrow. Taking off blinders, that kind of thing. Just seeking out what's beautiful, maybe sharing that with loved ones. So anyways, hope that was helpful. And I forgot to mention, I'm going to do a bonus reading because I found this book actually, which I had mentioned in my last reading. I was going to do the same thing for the different signs and just pull a page and see how that works out. And also maybe talk about runes. I was going to do some runes. They're another divinatory system, and just see how those things go together. Oops. And as a prelude to that, maybe Earth signs will be going to Saudi Arabia. You never know. Thanks for watching.